It's a great day when you're hanging around. Nothing's ever going to bring me down. Good times are coming our way. Whenever, wherever, whatever today.
Today is going to be a great day. I am Nikki G, your host. Welcome to the Lone Doctrine, the food for thought exploration station, and your place in making today better than yesterday. Every month we choose a topic. This month, we chose the importance of connection. In a world that seems to be progressing towards disconnect, connection is more important than ever. You may agree, you may disagree, but I believe being open to viewing all angles is important in most aspects of life. Sure, we can view technology from the perspective of allowing us to keep more connected with one another through social media, emails, and even texting. It allows us to send messages at a touch of a button, and within seconds, we're connected. But are we? In some aspects, yes. But in others, we are seeing others highlight reels on social media, writing short and incomplete emails, and short-handed texts. There's a balance. All advances within our time could be used for good or bad. Every day I see more heads down, staring at their phones and being drowned out by distraction-based content flooding the internet. People don't even acknowledge each other's presence. Too many people looking at their notifications rather than having a real conversation with their loved ones who are sitting right next to them. I'll admit, it's easy to get caught up in technology, but connection is the very essence of what gives our lives meaning. If you weren't listening to this very podcast, my life would have less meaning. You give me just as much, if not more than what I may give you in return. The time we both take to share in this journey in making today better than yesterday is a reciprocal relationship. It's a constant current, a win-win situation, if you will. I am so thankful for you. I am connecting with you, and it causes a ripple effect, which will also affect others. Together, we truly are the change. So let's look at the other side today. What happens when we fall into patterns of disconnect? Today, I'd like to share and talk about 7 reasons why connection with self and others is so important by Margaret Paul. Some of the basic needs of childhood are love and emotional connection. When we receive these, we learn to feel worthy and lovable. Many of us grow up without these needs being adequately met. The lack of connection can have a far-reaching physical and psychological consequence for us. Not experiencing loving connection as a child can lead to feeling a deep yearning in adulthood. Unfortunately, trying to get this connection from others rather than learning to connect with ourselves and others can lead to many personal and relationship problems. So here are some things to think about. An inner black hole versus inner fulfillment. When we are disconnected from ourselves, for who we really are and from our feelings, and when we are not filling ourselves with love through our spiritual connection, whatever that may be for you, we create a black hole within. The black hole we've created through our self-abandonment becomes like a vacuum, trying to pull from others. This neediness tends to push people away. So when we end up feeling even more unloved. When we want responsibility for our own well-being and we open to learning about loving ourselves, we open the door to connecting with an infinite source of love. Learning to bring this love within and share it with others creates a deep inner fulfillment. So let's look at both sides again. Failed relationships versus sharing love. Since we come together at our common level of self-abandonment and our common level of self-love, if we are abandoning ourselves by disconnecting from ourselves and avoiding responsibility for our feelings, we will likely attract someone who is doing the same thing. Each partner hopes that the other will fill the black hole within. While they might seem to do this for each other for a short time, eventually each feels unloved and resentful, leading to relationship failure. We cannot fill up another person. We each need to do this for ourselves and then share our love with each other. We cannot connect on a deep level of love with each other when we are not connected with ourselves. Here's something else to think about. Both sides, depression and loneliness versus happiness and joy. Depression is a huge problem in our society. While there are many causes for feelings of depression, one of the causes is disconnection from self. Again, self-abandonment. Just as a child gets depressed when the parent is disconnected and unavailable, our feeling self gets depressed when we are disconnected from our feelings and not taking loving responsibility for them. Another cause of depressed feelings is social isolation and the resulting loneliness, which is often one of the results of disconnecting from ourselves and then being unable to connect with others. The film Happy, if you haven't watched it yet, you totally should. The film Happy takes us on a trip around the world to the happiest people on the planet. These are people who live in communities where they feel connected with each other. They feel safe because they watch out for each other. They are not lonely. However, many people who have tried to establish connection or intentional communities end up leaving them for the same reason they leave marriages. They don't work unless people are connected with themselves and taking responsibility for their own feelings. Here's two sides of the coin to think about: physical illness versus physical health. Stress is a major cause of illness. When we live our lives disconnected from ourselves, not listening to and taking loving care of our feelings, and disconnected from our personal source of guidance, love, and comfort, we cannot manage stress well. Self-abandonment itself causes much anxiety and stress, which activates the fight or flight response and negatively affects our immune system. This is some indication, according to the Malcolm Gladwell in Outliers, that people who live in connected communities are far healthier than those who live in a more isolated way. Connection with self and others is vital for good health. Here's another one: addictions and self-regulation. When we have not learned how to connect with our feelings and with the love and comfort of our spiritual guidance, we often turn to addictions as a way of managing painful feelings. In order to be able to manage and regulate our feelings in healthy ways, we need to connect them with the desire to take loving responsibility for them. Turning to addictive behaviors is a form of self-abandonment, a way of avoiding responsibility for our feelings, and can lead to many negative consequences. Violence versus compassion. When we have not learned how to fully feel our painful feelings, compassionately managing them, learning from them, and then releasing them, we may lose touch with our humanity. It is the inability to manage pain that can lead to destructive and self-destructive behavior. When we cannot connect with and feel compassion for our own feelings, we may lose our ability to feel compassion for others. When this occurs, we can act out in violently harmful ways. And here's one more to think about: boredom versus passion and creativity. Our passion and creativity thrive through our connection with our feelings and with our spiritual guidance. When we disconnect from our feelings to protect against pain, we also shut out our joy, creativity, and passion. Life becomes flat, pointless, and boring. Love and joy live in the same place in the heart as loneliness and heartbreak. When we shut down, try not to feel our loneliness and heartbreak, we also shut down our ability to feel love and joy. This is a very sad way to live. You don't have to live this way. You can learn to connect within. You can learn to move your focus from outer, trying to get love and connection from others, to inner, truly loving yourself and others. You can learn to shift from avoiding feeling your painful feelings to compassionately embracing them with a desire to learn about what they are telling you. You can learn to take loving care of yourself and experience the deep joy of sharing your love with others. Life is full of connections. And this week, every day, I encourage you to create the balance between distraction and connection. Distractions are all around us, and something as simple as boredom can lead us down a more difficult path, one where we end up finding a temporary escape, but temporary is the key element. Find a way, inside and out, within yourself and with others, and make it become something that is permanent here and now. If you found value in the Lone Doctrine, we would be so grateful for your support. We've partnered up with Patreon, which is a place where you can help us stay on air and keep our doors open in supporting our listeners in making today better than yesterday. Thank you for your consideration, your support, and a very special thank you to our current Patreons who make the Lone Doctrine possible. We hope to see you at patreon.com/Lone Doctrine. patreon.com/Lone Doctrine. I genuinely appreciate your consideration. A simple $1 a month as a Patreon will go a long way in helping us serve you and all our listeners, but don't take our word for it. Check out the testimonials at lonedoctrine.com and also over at iTunes. We'd also love hearing from you. So leave us a review, which also helps others find us in the search engines. Together, we make today better than yesterday. Thank you for all your support, and a special thank you to our current Patreons. And remember, keep fighting the good fight.
It's a great day